back to The Blend. You know, many of us think that immunizations are just for kids. Well, don't be fooled. It's just as important for adults to stay protected. And here with more on how to do that is Dr. Tracy Wakefield. She's with Healthcare Partners Medical Group. Great having you.
Nice to be here.
So August is Immunization Awareness Month. Why should we be talking about immunization, especially for us?
Well, we all remember those immunizations that we got as children.
Oh yeah, the booster shots and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's important as we get older, too, to remember there are still vaccines we need throughout our lifetime.
Okay.
So that's why it remains critically important, because remember, these are things that keep us from getting sick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, why is it so important to have these? Obviously not getting sick, but like, are there certain things that will steer us away from?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Certain diseases are completely avoidable with these vaccines. And especially as we grow older, we have other conditions that may make us a little more, compromised and susceptible to these illnesses.
Absolutely, especially as the immune system kind of comes in for a landing a little bit. So when you're becoming a senior,
Correct.
It's incredibly important. So why is it so important for seniors to be getting it ahead of the curve?
Well, because they may have things like diabetes and lung disease and things that make these infections much more possible at their age. And so the immunizations are really critically important to keep them from getting these, like I said, preventable illnesses.
Absolutely. So let's talk about some of these illnesses.
So probably the most common immunization we hear about as adults is the flu vaccine.
Of course.
Every year, usually it starts becoming available in September, and I recommend everyone get their annual flu vaccine. But there are other immunizations that become important. There's the shingles vaccine, there's the tetanus, diphtheria, booster, but there's also pneumonia vaccine that prevents the most common bacterial pneumonia. Also, if you haven't had chickenpox or don't think you've been exposed to chickenpox, it's also, you might want to consider getting your chickenpox vaccine as you get older.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. How often do people end up getting chickenpox? Do we have a percentage on that?
Well, I think now the kids get vaccinated as they're young.
Yeah.
So we're probably not seeing as much chickenpox as we used to. But remember, those older adults who haven't been exposed to chickenpox, you can still get chickenpox.
It used to be a rite of passage. You had to have the chickenpox.
Right. We had chickenpox parties, things like that.
Yes.
As kids.
Not the case anymore.
Not the case anymore. And most kids now get those immunizations when they're young and avoid the whole chickenpox, situation as they get older.
So let's say we have questions about the recommended vaccines for us. Where do we go? How do we get information?
Well, I would recommend talking to your primary care provider and asking them, which vaccines are important to you depending on your age and disease status that you have personally. And they can answer those type of things. It's also that time of the year, back to school. Parents got to be sure that their children have the necessary vaccines for the upcoming school year. Also, we're getting into sports physical time, which is really important for kids, entering school to participate in, group sport events.
There's also resources and support events available. There's an event coming up, as a matter of fact.
Absolutely. Healthcare Partners in Nevada, we host many community events for both seniors and children. So we have, and there you actually could talk to one of our providers and get more information on which vaccines and things you may be interested in, the services we offer.
Absolutely. Healthcare Partners is where I go, as a matter of fact. And you have several locations in town.
We have about 40 primary care locations.
Just primary care?
Just primary care, not even including our specialty cares like cardiology, oncology, and other services.
You obviously see people come into the office, come and go quite often. How often do you see something where you're like, man, if they just got the vaccine, they would be fine? Especially with the flu, I imagine.
You'd be surprised. Flu, especially. People still die of the flu in this country, and it's still something, that we can avoid, especially for the younger and the older adults that just are so susceptible to infection.
Absolutely. The kids, obviously, immunization time is here. Everyone seems to wait the last minute. I know that must be a scheduling nightmare for you.
Oh, it is. Flu season is a little bit busy, flu shot season particularly, because at that time when people come in for their flu vaccine, we try to get them up to date on all the necessary vaccines. So if you come in for your flu shot, but you need your shingles vaccine or you need your pneumonia shot, we try to do it all at the same time just because it kind of prevents, multiple visits that you may need.
For us adults, I mean, flu season, we think wintertime. Should we be getting the shot in the wintertime or prior to it hitting?
You want to get it prior because your body takes time to build up the immunity to prevent the flu the flu disease, illness.
Yeah.
And actually, it's flu is prevalent much more in the winter because people are indoors, people are together, so it's much more easy to transfer it from one person to the other. So it's important to get the shot a little early so that you have time to build that immunity before we're in closed situations with others who may carry the flu.
So for all the people that are waiting for that person around them at work to get sick, for them to know it's time to get the shot, no, don't do that.
Right,
get in early.
Absolutely, get protected as soon as the shot becomes available, which usually is September. Get it early, get protected now.
All right, circle the calendar, get ready. It's a pleasure. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. All right, make sure you take Immunization Awareness Month seriously. You want to talk to your primary care doctor about any needed vaccines. They're not just for the kids, they're for you too. For more information about Healthcare Partners Medical Group, the number and website are both on your screen. They're also on Facebook and Twitter.